afternoon, Prof and class. We are from Group A1. Next one also. Right, the number you see on screen there, 11%, that is the percentage of food wasted in households worldwide. The number also represents the food waste in Singapore out of all the total waste generated. Next. As economic activity resumed after COVID in 2021, the amount of food waste generated increased. There was a 23% increase in food waste generated between 2020 and 2021, and although we saw a decrease in food waste generated from 2022 to 2023, total food waste generated was still higher than pre-COVID numbers with lower recycling rates as well. Next. Singapore has initiated outreach programs to combat the issue of food waste by increasing public awareness and promoting smarter food purchasing, storage, and preparation habits. Initiatives such as the 3R program encourages individuals to reuse, reduce, and recycle to protect the environment. Additionally, legislative measures such as the Resource Sustainability Act enacted in October 2019 have been introduced to address the country's waste challenges. These policies, however, aim to address food wastage in businesses. Those generated by households remain largely unaddressed, with households throwing away 10% of their food weekly. Next. In our research, we aim to tackle SDG 2, Zero Hunger, SDG 4, Quality Education, SDG 12, Responsible Consumption and Production, and lastly, SDG 13, Climate Action. Now, Evelyn will explain more on the current solutions in other countries.
Let's see how other countries tackle food waste management. So today we'll look at two effective approaches, one from Toyama City, Japan, and the other one from Seoul, South Korea. Starting with Toyama City, their strategy revolves around education and community engagement. A key initiative is the Eco-Town project, an industrial park hosting recycling companies and an education center. So this project not only promotes sustainable waste management, but also raises awareness about recycling. So since 2002, around 8,000 visitors annually, including hundreds of school groups, have participated in their educational programs. Not only that, Toyama introduced additional programs like the Change for the Blue initiative, which organizes 3 beach cleaning activities each year. They also have the 3R education program where city officials visit schools to teach kids about waste sorting. So this program reaches over 4,600 students annually across 80 kindergartens and elementary schools. As a result, the city recycling rate grew from 0.6% to 4% in just 2 years. Next. Now let's talk about Seoul, South Korea, which takes a different approach by using a pay-as-you-throw system to tackle food waste. So since 1990s, the city has implemented this system, which penalizes people for the amount of waste they generate. There are 3 main methods in the system. The first one is standard bags, which households buy in different sizes, with larger bags costing more. The second one is collection stickers that households purchase to mark their food waste containers. And most effective method, the RFID-based weighing system, which charges households based on the weight of their food waste when they dispose of it. So the RFID system stands out because it penalizes food waste by weight, making it more effective. It reduced waste by 31%, which is nearly double the impact of other methods. Now I'll pass the time to Ray to talk more about the solution.
Thank you, Evelyn. Unfortunately, the culture and infrastructure in Singapore is vastly different from Korea's. With convenient rubbish chutes in most households, it would be challenging to effectively monitor and penalize households when they dispose of their waste using the rubbish chutes. To adopt the Korean pay-as-you-throw system directly would require a comprehensive reworking of Singapore's waste management systems and culture, a costly procedure. Instead, we aim to foster a lifestyle of food waste reduction just like in Seoul. Next slide. To do so, the households must first be cognizant of the amount of waste they are producing. Hence, we propose the deployment of smart bins around Singapore. The bins will have a few features. Primarily, upon receiving food waste, the bin will weigh the amount of food waste discarded and display a monetary value based on the weight to the disposer. This links the quantity of food waste to something directly impacting the households, their money wasted. Click again. By linking food wasted to its monetary value, we aim to represent the true value of food waste and bring it to the forefront of the households' minds each time they throw away food, serving as a constant reminder of the cost of wasting food. Additionally, having to separate their food waste will allow for households to visually see the quantity of food waste they are producing. The bin will also display the weight of the waste it received, emphasizing the quantity of food that they wasted. Together, this will make it clear to the households both the quantity and cost of the food waste. By highlighting the costs, we hope to negatively reinforce the act of wasting food, encouraging a change in the habits of the household. Next slide. To maximize usage of the bin, we have to encourage the habit of waste segregation. Click again. We do this by providing an app that rewards users with points each time they use the bin. This is done by scanning a QR code on the bin before disposing of their waste to link their app to the bin. This feature draws inspiration from existing government initiatives like Healthy 365. Users will be rewarded with points each time they use the bin, therefore serving as a form of positive reinforcement. Of course, the goal is to reduce food waste. As such, we will impose a maximum weight upon which exceeding it will reduce the amount of points awarded. Next slide. Lastly, to empower households with the means by which they can contribute to food waste reduction through slashing overconsumption, we will make use of both the app and the bin to advise users on food waste reducing tips. Tips such as how to do proper meal planning or how to store food properly will be displayed on the app homepage and on the bin screen when idling. By communicating what households can do at home to reduce excess consumption, we aim to give them a greater sense of control over their food waste habits, allowing them to take the steps needed to reduce food waste. In the long term, this equips them with the knowledge to build a habit of food waste management. Next slide. This solution achieves multiple goals. By encouraging the reduction of food waste in households, we directly contribute to SDG 12.3, which aims to reduce food waste. Reducing food waste generated also reduces the amount of waste sent to landfills or burnt off, reducing greenhouse gas emissions and improving our climate health, contributing to SDG 13. Additionally, by encouraging waste segregation from the households as a sub-goal, we improve waste management procedures, making it easier to collect and recycle the food waste. Additionally, it should reduce the amount of trash contaminated by food waste in the blue bins in Singapore, improving our recycling efforts. Thus, its benefits stretch way beyond that of its original sector. Lastly, by reducing overconsumption, the smart bin increases the amount of food available in the long run, benefiting the sustainable food infrastructure of Singapore, thus working towards SDG 2, which aims to reduce hunger, as well as SDG 12.3 again. Next slide. Altogether, the smart bin solution actively addresses issues commonly associated with the environment pillar of the three pillars of sustainability by promoting the sustainability of food consumption in Singapore, optimizing food waste collection procedures and mitigating the impact of food waste on other recycling efforts also help reduce the cost needed to otherwise sort and clean the waste. At an individual level, reducing food wasted helps improve the funds of the household. Both contribute to the economic pillar. The simple design of the solution and its similarities to existing initiatives in other areas also serve to make it more scalable and extensible, reducing the cost needed to deploy it. I'll now pass the time to Lucas to talk about our other half of our solutions.
Thanks, Ray. To address the food waste situation, we propose to launch an educational program to tackle consumers' mindsets on the significance of food wastage, consisting of the Waste Warrior simulation, VR experience, and a social media campaign, inspired by Toyama City's successfully community engagement and educational model. These solutions are designed to address Singapore's current food waste challenges by strengthening social responsibility, reducing environmental impact, and improving the economic sustainability. Next. Inspired by Toyama's school's outreach programs, we propose the Waste Warrior Simulation, a nationwide gamified program in schools where students will get to experience as a food waste collector for a day, go through different stations that simulate collecting, sorting, and processing of food waste, learn about the labor-intensive and unpleasant realities of food waste handling. Through these simulations, students will understand that waste doesn't just go away. It is a burden on people and the environment. It is also different from the current education programs, unlike passive campaigns such as classroom talks. These programs actively immerse students in the full cycle of food waste, helping them understand how excessive food waste contributes to greenhouse gas emissions, landfill overuse, and also result in global warming. By stepping into the shoes of the frontline workers, students gets to develop a strong personal motivation to prevent food wastage, not because they are told to, but because they have experienced it. Next. Alongside gamification, education on the real consequences of food waste is critical. We can do a nationwide campaign or movement that makes people truly feel the impact of food waste. One of the highlights of this campaign is an immersive VR experience. In these simulations, users will follow the life of a food item from the farm through processing to our plates, and finally to the incinerator or landfill. Along the way, users will get to see the hidden costs, energy, water waste, amount of carbon release, and the long-term environmental damage caused by the uneaten food. This VR setup can be placed at schools, community centers, and MRT stations, giving Singaporeans an emotional and visual understanding of the consequences of food waste. On top of that, We will run national campaign on social media featuring real stories from food waste workers, public dashboards showing Singapore's food waste statistics in real time, and a pledge movement where consumers can commit to reducing food waste. This isn't just about spreading awareness. It is about sparking accountability and making food waste reduction a personal mission for every Singaporean. Now I'll pass the time to Charlene to talk about the limitations.
Thank you, Lucas. Now I will talk about the limitations of our solutions. For the food wastage bin, when consumers get less points for actively reducing food waste, they might be less incentivized to further reduce food waste. To combat this, there will also be points awarded to consumers for keeping food waste below a certain level assigned to his or her household. This level will be calculated based on the ideal amount of food waste produced by each household, taking reference to the National Environmental Agency's guidelines and the amount of people in their household. Additionally, Singaporeans value convenience and might not utilize the bin if they are unclear of its locations. Hence, the bin's locations will be noted on a map in the app, allowing easy access. Next slide. The Waste Warrior simulation might face initial resistance by parents, as there is a social stigma associated with the garbage collector job in Singapore. By clearly communicating the significance of this simulation to the concerned parties, which is to educate children about the consequences of their food waste, more parents will be willing to allow their children to participate in this simulation. For the VR experience, Singaporeans might not be convinced of the impacts due to the nature of it being a game. Hence, we should back up the consequences experienced in the simulation with the case studies and statistics to increase its reliability, therefore spurring them to actively reduce food waste to avoid those consequences. The social media campaign might not gain traction among the many other online campaigns. To tackle this, we can work together with various influencers and government officials to promote our campaign. To sum up, the two solutions will be feasible in the long run with the countermeasures. I will now pass the time to Yi Chen, who will conclude our presentation.
Thank you, Charlene. This Venn diagram analyzes our solution from three interconnected perspectives. Firstly, on the social perspective, both solution encourages positive behavioral changes and increased awareness by making food waste reduction a gamified and rewarding experience. Both solution also promotes a cultural shift from young to old as it encourages intergenerational learning. The food waste bin solution also promotes community engagement as it links individual action to a point-based system with visual statistics, which fosters a sense of responsibility and accountability. On the economical perspective, the entire ecosystem supports job creation from tech innovators to facilitators in school programs. As it scales, there could be strong potential for partnerships with supermarkets, NGO, or government agency who shares the same sustainability goals. On the environmental side, our solution help reduce food waste at the source, which means less landfill use and fewer greenhouse gas emission. Data-driven environmental planning is possible as statistics on household food waste trends can inform national strategies on waste management and food security. These three pillars are also deeply interconnected. We can see that in the middle, we are promoting sustainable habits which benefits all three pillars. Between social and economic, the gamification used can improve social accountability towards the food waste they produce, which encourages them to cut down waste, benefiting the environment. Between an economic and environmental, reducing landfill waste means reducing carbon footprints, as well as funds spent on landfills and incineration. Ultimately, by combining immersive education with smart technology, we are not just reducing food waste. We are also shaping a generation that can understand and act on sustainability. Small changes at home and in school can lead to lasting impact for our environment. That's the end of our presentation. Thank you.